Welcome to week 13 of Prize Picks, guys. It's been a long season for sure. Finally here, we've got Rivalry Week, which is always exciting, always some weird stuff happening on Rivalry Weekend, it seems like. So I'll jump in here. I'm going to go over my top 5 plays of the week on Prize Picks. Again, this is only going to be for Saturday, not for any of the Friday goodness. I know Thanksgiving week brings a ton of DFS fun, but we're just talking Saturday here. So I'll jump in. First, we've got Noah Fifita. 283.5 passing yards is the line that Prize Picks set out. I am going with more this week for Noah Fifita. They're playing Arizona State, a team that has really seemed like they were demoralized right out of the start with the postseason ban that they've implemented. And, they've just kind of struggled, especially since Rashada went down early in the season. There's talks of Jaden Rashada being back. And I think that is a very interesting thing for what that's going to do to the competition level of this game. I think Fifita has a great opportunity. Obviously, he's got Cowing and Tet McMillan. Outside, he's got these great weapons who can definitely take advantage of an Arizona State defense that is not as talented by any stretch. So he's only thrown for 284 yards or more in 3 of his 7 starts this season. But he's done it against some impressive secondaries. He threw for 300 yards on UCLA. And so I really don't think that the competition level is anything to worry about in this one. We've seen him do it before. This seems like a perfect weekend that he will get, a great opportunity to put up points in something that might be a little bit more back and forth than we had originally thought. My second play of the week here is going to be Kobe Hudson. We've got 60.5 receiving yards for the UCF receiver against Houston this weekend. I'm going more on these receiving yards. So Kobe Hudson's game log, if you look at it, his targets and his receptions seem to be really, they dip in the middle of the season. And so you might think at first glance that he's an inconsistent use case for this night's offense. But when you go back and you look at it and you overlay where John Reese Plumlee has been out, you see the dip in targets right there during the Timmy McClain games that he started. When Plumlee's been in, he's been very consistent, getting 6-7 targets a game, right up there with Javon Baker in terms of use and opportunity. So I definitely think that this is a great spot to target him. Houston's defense is nothing special. This is a classic American Athletic Conference matchup, despite them both being in the Big 12 now. And it's one of those matchups that really has the potential to be a high-scoring affair. So I am all in there. I really think that Hudson's usage since John Reese Plumlee has been back has been something very nice. So I am in on him going for over 60.5 receiving yards. This next play here is going to be Squirrel White. Now, we're talking about guys who we love coming into the season that have disappointed in a big way. You've got to think Squirrel is at the top of that list. Him and Joe Milton, very prized picks, very on par for us talking prize picks here. But they were prized picks when going through supplemental drafts last season. They were guys who we thought were really huge ceiling plays, and the Orange Bowl last year showed us that they do have high ceilings. This week, though, Tennessee plays Vanderbilt. Again, rivalry. And Vanderbilt's just good enough offensively that I feel like they might be able to put up some points and cause Tennessee to be throwing well into the second half of this game. But they're not athletic enough, I think, on defense to be able to have anyone that can really match Squirrel stride for stride on the outside. So I think he's got a great opportunity to break a big one this week. He doesn't need to break a big one. I think that since Dante Thornton's been out, his opportunity has been such that he can, have a few chunk plays, 20-yard plays, and still get this 67.5. He can still go over that. So I like this. It's definitely been, like I said, hit or miss with him. He's only gone over 68 yards in 4 of his 11 outings this season. So it's definitely been disappointing, but I think you can rely on him one more time here as Tennessee takes on Vanderbilt. The penultimate one here, I'm going Josh Kelly against Washington. I'm going more than 64.5 receiving yards for him. I really have loved what I've seen from the Cougars the past 3 weeks. Josh Kelly has put up 342 receiving yards on 19 receptions and 2 touchdowns over the past 2 weeks. He's emerged as a 1B to Lincoln Victor. Both Victor and he are kind of the underneath guys and the guys who kind of find the opportunities in the middle of the field, while Kyle Williams is definitely their field stretcher. I think that Washington State's going to be competitive in this one. The Apple Cup always gets weird. If you listen to Campus to Caching this week, I mentioned the Apple Cup, the Egg Bowl, excuse me, and the Civil War as the 3 rivalry games that I think are just always kind of out there. Something strange happens. And I think that we'll see an upset in one of them. Washington State, I think, is in prime position to knock them off. But to do so, they're going to have to really get after it through the air and win in a shootout, I think. I don't think they're going to be able to slow down Washington much. So that being said, Josh Kelly, 64.5 receiving yards. I'm going over. I think that this is a great opportunity for him to showcase his athleticism. He's been a really shifty guy and a guy who can break some tackles and make some guys miss in open field. So I am excited to see what he can do this week against some great competition. Then the last guy I've got here is Rodney Hammond. When I originally picked this one out, it was 61.5 rushing yards. It's jumped up 1 yard to 62.5 rushing yards. This matchup against Duke, at first glance, it is a tough one for Pitt, mainly because Pitt's offense has just been very weak in the past few weeks. Last week, though, Rodney Hammond, they leaned on him really because Christian Veyu and Phil Jerkovic have really fallen flat on their face so far this year, whether that's because of a talent discrepancy or whether that's just Pat Narduzzi doing the Nard Dog things that he does to that offense. So we'll see how they play out moving into next year. But last week, Rodney Hammond was the guy that they leaned on. He got 15 carries for 145 yards and a touchdown against Boston College. The Blue Devils on defense have allowed 100 rushing yards to every opponent except UConn. So I do think that if Pitt decides that they're going to lean on Rodney Hammond this week, that he is has a great opportunity to get close to the 100-yard mark. I'm not saying that he's going to, hit that 100-yard mark, but I think, 70 to 80 yards is kind of the sweet spot for him this week. So 62.5, I am definitely okay with taking a little bit of a risk there and leaning on Rodney Hammond. So to recap this week, I am going with Rodney Hammond over that 62.5. I'm going Noah Fafita over 283.5 passing yards. I'm going Kobe Hudson over 60.5 receiving yards. I'm going Squirrel White over 67.5 receiving yards. And I'm going Josh Kelly over 64.5 receiving yards. Guys, it's been great this season to run through some prize picks for you, giving you some of my plays, the plays that end up on my tickets week in and week out. I'm excited to roll into conference championship week and then bowl season. That's always exciting. I'm not sure exactly what that's going to look like video-wise, if we're going to be rolling videos on a regular basis for prize picks. It's really going to depend on how quickly and how efficiently they set up those lines. So if we get some good offerings, I'll definitely hop back in here and let you guys know. Otherwise, it's been a blast this season covering our college football prize picks and DFS. Go out there this week, enjoy some football one last time, and hope you make some money. Have a great week, guys.